I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
I knew it. I love when he does that.
Wrestling has more than one royal family.
Gentlemen, in my soul, something, something, Cody Rhodes. I'm the tribal chief around here. Yeah, you see me, the tribal chief. That's right.
Time. But let me go ahead and tell you.
Shut your bitch ass up.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 494 of the Hoots Podcast. As the road to episode 500 continues, it's yours truly, the nefarious one, the one and only Brother Adam, aka Joshie Lopez, here, rocking out with you guys here on this Friday, December 5th, 2025. The countdown to episode 500 continues, which is our final edition of the podcast at Hoots. No. Hope everybody's in good spirits. Hope everybody had good Thanksgiving. Everybody's in good spirits as we get closer and closer to Christmas. A lot of things going on in the world of professional wrestling. A week from tomorrow, as I'm recording this, believe it or not, a week from tomorrow is John Cena's final match. We're going to hear from John Cena today on the podcast. John Cena had a really awesome interview. You guys should go anyway check out. He was a guest on Bill Simmons' podcast. I'm going to play a couple clips from that interview today. Some very pertinent stuff, and even some stuff that I've mentioned here on the podcast over the last couple months regarding his retirement tour as a whole. But that's this week in WWE. A lot of stuff without this week in WWE. Because we had a PLE this past Saturday in San Diego. And boy, oh boy, a lot of people have a lot of opinions on it. And man, you would think that this was Capital Punishment or Battleground in 2017 and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And like, God, man, I didn't know that I transcribed the worst pay-per-view of the year last year. But hey, let X and JD and Solo Monster, the two guys that act as if their opinions are gospel in this space, and they'll let you tell you, oh, this is the lamest show, lamest stadium show in the history of professional wrestling, the laziest, safe booking by Sesame Street Levesque. Fuck off. So stupid. Can't wait to talk about that later on, but, welcome to the program, everybody. We have 6 more episodes left of the podcast. After today, we go from 6 down to 5. A lot of things are going on in my life right now. I feel like I should share with you guys here in the beginning of the show. We'll get to that in a couple seconds. But first, let's do a couple plugs. You can hit me up on X if you like at the Hoots Podcast. I'm on Instagram at Joshie Lopez Music. Make sure to hit and smash that subscribe button on our YouTube page at the Hoots Podcast. And first and foremost, I want to thank you all because we reached our goal of over 1,000 subscribers over this past weekend, man. Thank you guys so much. Really, from the bottom of my heart, I'm really glad that we were able to reach this goal before our final episode. So this is fucking dope. This something that I really wanted for this channel and our podcast as a whole, because we started the show on YouTube. So for the fact that we were able to get this now over 1,000 subscribers, that really, really means a lot to me. So thank you guys so much for helping us out with that. You guys can still subscribe to the channel. It'll still be there. All our archive episodes will be there. Following episode 500, the podcast is not going anywhere, but you guys can check it out there. And also with our RSS feed, for those who check us out on our home of the Hoots Podcast, Odyssey. Shout out to everybody, for the people at Odyssey, for having us on their platform. The feed's not going to change. I told you guys about the new podcast that I'm starting after episode 500. Well, scratch that. We released the first episode of the Surf Files, my deep dive podcast about Vanderpump Rules in the Bravo universe. We just recorded and released the first pilot edition of the podcast yesterday, and I reunited with the good brother of all good brothers, Matt McCool, and we had a lot of fun. Nearly 90 minutes of some really good conversation, recapping the first episode for season 12 of the new rebooted edition of Vanderpump Rules that just was released this past Tuesday. And we had a lot of fun conversations. So for those who are wondering where you can find the Surf Files, you can find it in two places. It'll still be on the feed that you're listening to right now on the Hoots Podcast channel. But I want to update you guys as after we get to episode 500, the title and the feed of it is going to change to the Surf Files. So you don't have to subscribe to a different podcasting channel. It will remain here on Odyssey. It will remain on this channel. I'm just changing the logo and the title of the thing that you're looking at right now. So don't worry. But also, we're on YouTube at the Surf Files. That's the SUR Files. So make sure to give this new project of mine a chance. I deeply appreciate it. I put a lot of time and thought into starting this new project. Initially, I wanted to start this show after episode 500, but they decided to release the new season of Vanderpump Rules this past Tuesday. So I'm like, well, we had to speed this up and we got to figure this out. So we made it happen, and it was a lot of fun. So very excited for you guys to check out that episode, our premiere episode, and let me know what you think. I'd love to hear some feedback. Also, as always, you can check out my play-by-play articles, my mainline work in the results section of WrestlingHeadlines.com and on my own website, ProWrestlingTranscripts.com. I've been very busy on that end. A lot of shows. I've been doing PLEs. I've done AAA shows recently. Like last Friday, I did SmackDown, and then I did this AAA Alanias event from Puebla, Mexico. They're on the road to their War of the Titans event, which is one of their big shows of the year. They're having that in Guadalajara, Mexico, on December 20th. So there's just a lot of wrestling going on right now. Even this weekend, I got a PLE to do. We got the last NXT PLE of the year is NXT Deadline. This Saturday coming up in San Antonio, Texas, in the Boeing Center. They got this really cool venue, around I don't know if it's a NASA place, but it's something having to do with airplanes and ships and stuff like that. I'm curious to see what the layout is for this event. It's going to be pretty dope, but it's in San Antonio. It's the featured match that they do each year for NXT. It's the Iron Survivor Challenge. One of the most difficult matches for me to transcribe each and every single year. It's a fast-paced match. I think this fits very well with Shawn Michaels' very low attention span. I've grown accustomed to knowing the pace and the formatting of a Shawn Michaels show. Trust me, it takes me a while to really jot that down. It takes me a while to finish NXT each week compared to when I'm covering Raw or SmackDown, because he'll jam-pack nearly 40 or 50 wrestlers in a 2-hour show, and it's going really fast. The matches are going super fast. There's a lot of dialogue and a lot of fast talking. So it's a difficult challenge at times, and it's one of the reasons why I really enjoy covering NXT each week. I enjoyed the show, the fact that it's developmental, and it's seeing what the future of the industry is going to look like. I enjoy Vic Joseph and Booker T on commentary. The show is fun. If I ever wanted to put my analysis hat on and talk about consistency and all these little IWC dirt sheet buzzwords that you hear on every other wrestling podcast these days, I would say, if you want my opinion about who's the best booker in professional wrestling in 2025, I think it's Shawn Michaels. So I'm excited to cover NXT Deadline tomorrow night. That should be a fun show. That's going to be on Peacock. And then next Saturday is John Cena's last match in Washington, D.C. So a lot of big stuff to discuss. Also, I wanted to mention really quick, I know there's, again, Seltzer and Alvarez just continue to put their foot under mouths with each and every day that goes by. Now Meltzer going on tirades about who's a grifter and who's not a grifter and making excuses for every little thing. Also, I have to mention this because I saw this before I pressed the record button this morning. I'm not necessarily ticked off at the moment, but I can't stand disrespect towards performers look, if you guys felt that Nikki Bella's match with Stephanie McCare was a wasted time at WarGames and it didn't do anything for you, blah, 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 fine. That's your prerogative. But as somebody, for myself, who actually transcribes the matches and understands the fact that both of these girls were put in a rough spot following John Cena's final pay-per-view match, and even with the story they had in limited time, I thought both of them did a good job given the circumstances, and I thought both Nikki and Stephanie had the crowd with them towards the end of the match. So, I'll talk a little bit more about that in my Survivor Series review, but just this week in general, with a lot of the hot takes that I've been seeing about things, and it's just like, I feel like we're in 2016 or 2012 again, where it's just like everybody needs to find the littlest thing to point out, oh, that's my stance on WWE for this reason and that reason. And it's like, it's not coming off genuine now. Like, I could understand constructive criticism and saying when a show sucks and it's just not a good show, but from what I transcribed, and I'm going to say this when I do the review, from what I transcribed on Saturday, I did not think this was the worst Survivor Series I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, I feel, especially when it came to like the whole John Cena retirement tour, I just felt like this whole year in 2025, people want to make it out about, oh, wrestling sucked in 2025. No, you know what happened in 2025? Wrestling media members and dirt sheet podcasters think their shit don't stink and act as if they have all the answers. So whenever their fantasy booking ideas don't display on, or not put on display on television or on pay-per-views, they lash out at the promoters that didn't give them what they want at that time. Again, at the end of the day, all the stuff is subjective. If you thought wrestling sucked in 2025, that's your prerogative. I, from an objective point of view, and as somebody that's covered the entire industry for over a decade now, I've seen shitty years in professional wrestling. This was not one of them. And you're hearing from somebody that's almost highly critical of AEW for a lot of times since the inception of the promotion. Not that I wanted it to go out of business, not that I didn't want it to succeed, because I do want it to succeed. A lot of their issues with AEW, they do it within themselves. You know, it's not anything I did. It's not my intention to go out and wait to shit on AEW. They do a good job of that themselves. So it's like, I again, as I'm getting ready to leave this space of talking about wrestling, I'm free and I have this weight off my shoulder now, and realizing that like everything I do on this show, I can stand on my 2 feet and keep my head held high, because I spoke from the heart. I stood true to my stance on things. I didn't change whether business was hot or not, or whether I thought the weekly programming was hot or not. I kept the same energy. I kept the same approach that we had here on the podcast, and nobody can take that away from me. Because there's been a lot of people in this space that have a lot of followers, and you know, people flock like sheep when it comes to negativity and a lot of these doom and gloom podcasts out there. But I've gone out of my way to try to come on here and give you a fair, balanced, nuanced conversation. There have been times where I came on here and said there's stuff from WWE that I haven't liked. But again, this is not a podcast where I'm going to come in here and shit on professional wrestling the entire time we're talking. Because half the time when I listen to these shows, that dude shit on the product and spend 3.5 hours or whatever it is to flex their muscles as if they're the smartest people in the space and act like their shit don't stink just because they're from fucking New York. You know, that's just not what this show is. I want to do right by the performers. I have respect for the performers. I have respect for the people that are in the industry and sacrifice time away from their families and put their bodies on the line for us. I'm not going to come on here and fucking disrespect these performers like Meltzer giving a 1 star and a quarter to Stephanie and Nikki Bella. That's a slap in the face to both of them. And I think that's embarrassing, to be honest with you. So I needed to get that off my chest because it's been on my mind the last couple days. But as we get ready to wrap up this monologue, I have some awesome news to share with you guys. And I shared it on X. If you guys haven't heard, I'm finally making it happen. I got approved, guys. I'm moving to Winter Park, Florida on December 17th. I got approved to this place called El Vista Winter Park. I'll have more time to talk about this decision in a longer term form on the podcast as the weeks come closer and when I get to Florida. But I wanted to share with you guys because I've been talking about this for a very, very long time that I wanted to make this a reality. And we're finally here and we're finally making it happen. It hasn't hit me yet. I'm sure by the time I get into Florida, the emotions will start kicking in, but really scratching and clawing to make this dream a reality. It's here. I got accepted from my apartment. I've been really busy off air trying to get everything in line to make sure this happens smoothly. And I'm just really excited, man, to start the next chapter in my life. And there's a lot of things to look forward to coming up in the future. So I'll talk more about the move as we get closer to it. But I just want to share, guys. I want to share the news with you guys, man. I'm moving to Florida. It's finally happening. I love y'all. That's the monologue this week. When we come back, we'll get to what happened this week in WWE. Review Survivor Series, play the John Cena clip, interview from Bill Simmons podcast, and give you preview predictions for NXT Deadline right here on episode 494 of the Hoots Podcast. We'll be right back. Yeet. Alright guys, welcome back to the Hoots Podcast. Time to talk about what happened this week in the world of the WWE. Before we get to recapping what happened at WarGames in San Diego, John Cena was a guest on the Bill Simmons podcast. Speaking of the podcast, this is episode 494 of the Hoots Podcast. I'm Joshie. Make sure to hit that like button and smash the subscribe button. Now we're on the road to 5,000 subscribers on YouTube. Let's get these subscriptions up, and I really appreciate the feedback that we've been getting recently on the podcast. And don't forget, the home for the Hoots Podcast is Odyssey. Alright, so before we get to everything that happened on the program this week, Review Survivor Series, I wanted to play this clip because I've been talking about the John Cena retirement tour just as much as everybody else has. And I thought that this interview that John had with Bill was very eye-opening for a lot of things that we've discussed on this show. And one of the main things that I'm proud about this show is that I brought some elements from my old pro wrestling experience show into this podcast, and audio and playing clips from other shows has been a big staple of this podcast, and I'm very, very proud of that. And I hope that's an element that I can bring over to the Surf Files as well. So enough rambling for me. Here is John Cena as a special guest on Bill Simmons' podcast. It's damn good. Let's check this out.
I give all I got. I have enough left in the tank for one match.
Well, so I was at the first Netflix Raw.
Yeah.
The night before the Fire Sale. You came out. The two notable things from that was Hogan came out and got really booed, and almost like I think some famous wrestling people would have kind of felt the crowd energy and turned it. It was almost like he didn't know what to do. So that was one notable thing. And the other one was when you came out. And it was clear it was like this purposeful angle that everybody had put a lot of thought into. Nobody tipped me off on it. But as I was watching it, I was with my son. And I was like, oh, this is smart. I see what they're doing. They're making this like the year of Cena. He's going to make one last run at trying to win the title. And like, I see what they're doing here. And I think it went better than anyone could have expected. The heel piece was the thing. It seems like you have like small regrets about it.
Not at all.
No?
No,
You don't think do you think it went perfectly, or like what would you have changed if you did it over again?
What is perfect? Here's what I do know. Perfect is never achievable. I think that's a sucker's chase. When I look back on it, could I have given any more than I did? Not a bit.
Yeah.
I over-prepared. I tried to go to every corner of my emotional well-being And the cool thing is, like, when the audience began to turn, we turned.
Yeah.
So, like, they helped it out, and that dynamic was a little bit ahead of schedule for, let's say, Cody and I, but it made for a great showing for the summer. So, you choose, make, again, anecdotes, make New Day a bunch of heels. They're aspirational pastors, but they're bad guys. The crowd booed them, and then they loved them. Nobody wanted to change them good, but hey, it's time to change them good. You know, let's try John like this. I know we have limited time, but let's do something really big. Okay, it didn't work. Didn't mean I didn't get my own. You know, I often talk about a main event of WrestleMania I had with The Miz a long time ago, where The Rock came down to interfere. Everyone knew Rocky was coming. The match between Miz and I was lackluster as far as audience involvement, because they were waiting, obviously, for Dwayne Johnson, who wouldn't want to be just looking towards the entrance.
Yeah.
Miz got knocked out, won the championship with a concussion. Like, we beat the hell out of each other. We couldn't give anymore. But looking back, I didn't understand all things, and maybe we should have done something different, because we should have just got Rock out there earlier. But that piece was also, again, it's WrestleMania, I think I gotta blow it off. That piece was a building block for a year later in Miami. Because the next day on TV, we challenged each other to the Miami WrestleMania. So it was like leveraging WrestleMania for another WrestleMania. I just wasn't used to it. I didn't get the perspective. And it worked. It ended up being one of the most successful events in company history. So when you say, like, oh man, you seem a little bit like this, I don't. It happened. It was great. And it helped. It paid off. And this whole year, I think, has been special in that regard. People have bought in, and I'm so glad, because after this, I don't have another chance. If they didn't buy in, I'd just go. You know,
fake an injury in July. Like,
no, I would do the rest of my dates, and then I could look back and be like, man, I held one too long. But in these shows, like, it's now become, we want to be on these shows. We have tons of people watching. We have sold out arenas and stadiums. It's a chance for you to share your business.
You made one mistake.
Please, I'm open to criticism.
Why wasn't the last match in Boston?
That's way beyond my control. I don't book the live event calendar.
My guess is that
if it was up to me, every match would be in Tampa.
Well, but my guess is,
like, that's
they knew the Boston
the
match.
mistake is I didn't have 36 matches in Tampa.
I know, but you're like the Boston home team, though.
Trust me, it was great to be able to go back there one last time.
My guess is they thought that could be its own thing, and your last match could be its own thing, and they didn't need to combine those two things.
You never know. I don't know if the Garden was available.
Possible.
So you never know. Like, that's the thing of, like, man, it would be perfect for you. Like, you don't know the routing, you don't know live event hurdles that they have to go through.
It was an emotional event.
It was great.
The last Boston match.
And it was like the last, like, then you can get a bunch of last ups. The last SmackDown in Chicago where I started.
Yeah.
The last time in TV, the last time in NSG, my last Raw, my last premium live event or pay-per-view in San Diego. And then, of course, the last match. And in trying to create the atmosphere for the last match, folks at Creative were like, hey, we want to do like this tribute thing. And I never booked myself.
Yeah.
But I called Triple H and I said, I have an idea. You'll know how to do this because I don't know how to write television. But I think if we do a tribute show, one of two things are going to happen. It's either going to be too much or too little, which means it's not going to be good. Why don't we take Saturday night's main event? Everyone knows it's John Cena's last match. The video packages, you want to trickle in there throughout the night, no problem. Then we go to the match, have the match, that's the night. But beforehand, on a night I know people are going to be tuning in, we're going to have sold out. It's going to be definitely an item, a ticket you want to have in your hand. And that last piece of relevant energy that I can get an audience member to tune into. Show the future of your business. Have top name WWE superstars. CM Punk, Charlotte Flair, you put it together how you want. Have them have non-canon exhibition matches with the future of the business. Bring kids up from NXT. Get them in a building with real noise, with real energy. Let them get under the bright lights. Maybe, just maybe, like, get to wrestle people with experience and wisdom and in non-canon exhibition matches where nothing's on the line. It's just a chance to see, it's a chance to hear the music of your favorite superstars against someone you have no idea. And he said that's a great idea. They're going to do it. I have no clue what the plan is, but I know that's how I want to go out.
Right.
I want the people who are tuning in for me to be like, yeah, did you see that other kid? I'm watching next Monday. This is awesome. Or she's awesome. You know, like, what a better way to tip the cap and try to keep the thing going. You know, what would you do?
Awesome shit right there. I got more. So it's not just that clip you just heard there. It's some really awesome things right there from John Cena. We got 2 more clips. These more are in short, real forms because this interview with Bill and Cena went an hour and 40 minutes, and they didn't really did the timestamps yet, so I couldn't find the clips. I listened to this whole interview last night while I was watching the Cowboys-Lions game, and here's John Cena on the notion about him going out on his own terms.
This is something I've heard a lot this past year. Man, you're going out in your own terms. That's bullshit. I want to do it forever. Like, to anyone out there who doesn't understand what WWE is, just go live. When you step in that building live, it's just a different energy.
Yeah.
And I never want to let that go. But my body hurts. I'm a step slower. I promised myself and the fan base, like, when I started, before I won that first championship, when I'm a step slower, I'm out.
And yet some people are saying you're having some of your best matches ever this year.
Yeah, but it's all I have left. That's what people don't understand. And I want to go out at a level that is still passable and in some twinkles admirable, and not have to rely on luck. You know, I got 1 day left. I have given my heart and soul to this year. It has taken a lot to just do 35 dates before I do 220 in my sleep. Like, it is time to move on.
Alright, that's the first one. Here is the second one. This is the main clip that I wanted to play here for the woe is me. Oh, John Cena's retirement tour was ruined at WrestleMania 41. Here's the lesson of this year's retirement tour and what you need to look forward to in the future when it comes to talking about professional wrestling. This is advice to young wrestling podcasters. Listen to what John Cena has to say here.
The match Cody and I had at WrestleMania, which was awesome. Some people would say different, but it was not the end of our story. It was like the end of Act 1. Knowing that, like, you got Cody, you got to turn bad. Eventually, this is going to happen. We need you to peak at SummerSlam. That's the end. So we had a very, by design, we had a very methodical match, with a very simple end. And we thought, we would have some parts and players. Those disappeared. It didn't matter because it was the end of Act 1. So we had, like, Act 2 and then Act 3. And then if you compare what we did in April to what we did in August.
The SummerSlam was awesome.
Because that was the end of our story. And that's the ride we're taking fans on. But it's as difficult to conceptualize as you're not coming back. Like, no, everybody comes back. You had this match at WrestleMania that left me. I wanted more. Yeah, no kidding. You're going to get it. Because although we know that WrestleMania is the end of our season, when it came to Cody and I, that was just the beginning for us. And certainly just the beginning for me after them choosing to say, well, now you're a bad guy. The match Cody and I had at WrestleMania.
All right. There you go. All 3, bam, 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 right there for you. So, again, I don't need to wax poetic of how great John Cena is as an orator, and this is outlook on life and wrestling is just on another level, man. I can't heap enough praise on this dude. This guy is just fucking amazing. Go check out that interview, man. It's really, really good. I can't recommend it enough to you guys. So, that was John Cena on Bill Simmons podcast. Let's talk about Survivor Series. We got a lot of stuff to do. We got answers, questions for the Q&A, so I don't want to keep you guys here for too long. WarGames. I'll talk about it for you guys. Did I think this was the worst Survivor Series of all time? No. Could this show have been better? Sure. Did this show only needed 4 matches? No. I'll tell you, I do. Sure, you can have a happy balance in between like doing 5 or 6, maybe even 7 matches on a pay-per-view, but given everything that goes into how long these WarGame matches went on, and then like maybe like it's always easy to look through the lens of the IWC, and I try not to look at it. I try to look at the bigger picture. If you look at the show itself, and knowing you have 2 WarGames matches, you have John Cena's final PLE match that's going to really take the energy out of that crowd, how much do you want to wear out that crowd? You got 2 crazy WarGames matches with 20 top-tier superstars. You have John Cena having a significant end of his PLE run, and that's 3 matches that's, the crowd is giving them all to that match, to those matches. So I can look at it from their point of view and be like, okay, do we need to have 5-6 matches? Do we need to have the MFTs against Team Sammy that we had for last week's SmackDown, which was a dope Survivor Series match? I enjoyed it. That was a good match from last week's SmackDown. Do I need that on the card? Do I need to have Ilya Dragunov and Tommaso Ciampa for the United States Championship on Survivor Series and have people sit on their hands because they just followed John Cena against Dominic Mysterio for the Intercontinental Championship? That's a lot of things that the IWC doesn't think about, but I do. And I can understand to a certain extent why less is more. Now, this is one of your tentpole events. I would think maybe you would have more than 4 matches. I could strike the balance of saying like, hey, okay, I get it from their point of view, like, hey, we have 3 matches that's going to take the energy out of this crowd because there's a lot of action, there's a lot of drama, there's anticipation for John Cena's final match, and a lot of people were excited for that men's WarGames match. So, a lot of the times when it comes to the IWC, in my years of observing the industry and me covering these shows, a lot of times, I don't think a lot of times the people that do these type of shows, they're not really watching and reviewing the show for what the show was. They're watching it through their lens of what they want to happen. So when it doesn't happen and the finishes don't come off the way they thought it was going to be, oh, it sucked, oh, it was safe, oh, it was lazy and predictable. Everything you hear on every other wrestling podcast, because they can't think for themselves, they go through the same Rolodex of words, buzzwords, and sayings and soliloquies about what made the show this. Okay, so for the fact that WWE didn't drop their load for the mystery attacker in the men's WarGames match, or didn't reveal it on Monday Night Raw the following night, oh, that means they're not good at telling stories and they're stalling, and they don't want to have fun. They don't want to have fun. But it's like, okay, you want unpredictability, you want things that you want to expect, you want to have you say in your shows that you want people to have a reason to tune in for the following week. But you're the same person that the night after a PLE, you want all the story plots to be revealed for the coming feuds going into the next PLE on that one episode of Monday Night Raw. So for everything that happened after WarGames, we need to drop every single thing that's going to be teased for WrestleMania 42, the Royal Rumble, and everything in between in Glendale, fucking Arizona. And that's the IWC in a nutshell. It's so fucking stupid, to be honest with you. Going back to WarGames, I'll talk about. I love the visualization of it. I thought the presentation was awesome. The really cool, different colors with the pyro that they had at the beginning of the show was dope. I think that Petco Park is a beautiful ballpark, and I thought the visual setting of it was good. I thought the crowd, for the most part, from what I heard from transcribing the show, I thought it was good. Again, do I think this was the worst Survivor Series of all time? No. Did I think that this was a horrible pay-per-view, the worst pay-per-view of the entire year? No. Did I think this was the lamest PLE of the year, lamest stadium, whatever phrase Solid Monster used to describe Survivor Series this weekend? No. Now, am I going to come on here and say that this was the best Big Four pay-per-view of the year? No. There's nuance to this. No wrestling show is that perfect. Very on a whim, do you have something where everything is boom, 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 like Money in the Bank 2011 and WrestleMania 17, etc., etc. I can have more examples. More times than not, you're not going to have a pay-per-view that's like that. I thought I enjoyed Survivor Series. Isn't that the point of watching professional wrestling, is to have entertainment and have it entertain you and let it be like a mental escape for what you're dealing with in your life? Or is it that, I have a wrestling podcast and a live stream post show that I have to do, so I need to find a way to watch this show through a certain lens, and so I could be fake mad about something that you didn't really have all the context and substance attached to the take that you want to dish out on your shows. So, I really thought from what I saw on Saturday night was really a microcosm of what's wrong in this space these days. If you didn't like the show, I'm not going to come here and put you down. That's your opinion. If you didn't like Survivor Series and it didn't come off the way you wanted it to be, that's your prerogative. But don't be that fucking person that does shows like this and says that you want the emphasis on the younger talent and you want things that give you a reason to tune into Raw the next week or the next night or whatever the fuck the situation is. Don't be that person, and then when they do it, and they have the emphasis on the younger talent, Dominic Mysterio beating John Cena in his final pay-per-view, Stephanie Vaquer getting a spot on the PLE, Bron Breakker pinning CM Punk in the main event of WarGames that had nearly every big box office star that in the company from the male side in one fucking match. So, you gotta pick a lane, man. You gotta pick a lane. I enjoyed what I saw for Survivor Series. Could it have been better? Sure. But I didn't come off this pay-per-view on Saturday and like, oh my god, this was a microcosm of Paul Levesque's horrible booking. Vince Russo saying this week that Triple H is the worst booker that he's ever seen. Get off of it, man. Just maybe that you have a personal issue with the guy, just fucking say what it is. You go out of the way to fucking shit on the guy because you're not working in WWE right now. You have a personal issue with Triple H, and that's all you fucking talk about on your shows, and all the way to promote your fucking Jungle Championship Wrestling. Like, am I the only person in this space that can fucking call out the stupid narratives that I see on these fucking shows these days? And I'm not talking about wrestling, I'm talking about podcasts and shows like this. Even for the women's WarGames match, everybody's like, "Oh, this was too soft. Oh, this was a Sesame Street PG WarGames match." Okay, so the fact that we need blood and guts and thumbtacks and broken glass, that's the only way to constitute a WarGames match. I think we did get blood in the men's WarGames match. People want to forget about that fact. I actually really enjoyed the men's WarGames match, to be honest with you. Going back to the women, okay, I get it. Maybe you're tired of the EO Sky trash can spot where she does the dive off the top of the cage. I think that's pretty athletic as fuck for her to do a somersault off of it this year compared to just regular moonsaults that she's been doing the last couple years. That's neither here nor there. I enjoyed what I saw for the women. I didn't think it was a bad match. The crowd was into it. Should that matter? Or is it only what the IWC and the Twitter fingers feel? Is that the only thing that matters these days? So, all in all, I enjoyed my time covering Survivor Series. Did I think this was the worst pay-per-view of the year? No. But that's just my opinion. Really quick, couple of takeaways from Raw and SmackDown. I do want to put over that Survivor Series match that I transcribed last week because it was very, very good. With the NXT's Sami Zayn, Rey Fenix, Nakamura, and the Morrison City Machine Guns. Very, very good match. I want to give props to those guys. So even Monday Night Raw, we had some really good matches with. Obviously, we had the semifinals of the last time is now tournament. Jey Uso lost to LA Knight. Very good match. I thought both of the matches that they had told different stories. And I'll tell you what, my match of the week so far for me is Gunther against Solo Sikoa. That match was fucking dope. So now we have Gunther and LA Knight in the finals of John Cena last time is now tournament. The winner of this match will indeed fight John Cena in this final match tonight on SmackDown. I know this is going to be a big topic on the shows. What's going to be, Gunther or LA Knight? That's the question. I'm open to both. If LA Knight wins, I'll be happy with him. I'll be happy for him. If Gunther wins, I'll be excited for the match with John Cena. In this scenario, I don't think you could go wrong one way or another. I think this could be a fun physical match tonight on SmackDown. And I'm excited to see how this plays out. But either way, if it's LA Knight or if it's Gunther, I think we're in for a good final match with John Cena. And I'm curious just as much as anybody else of how this is going to play out tonight. But I am excited for Gunther and LA Knight, and this is the position where I really don't care who wins the match. So that's how I feel about it. But one last thing before I get to predictions for NXT Deadline coming up tomorrow, I want to put over Bron Breakker because the promo. Oh, one other match I need to mention: Charlotte Flair and Alexa against Rio, and Rio, Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. The main event for Raw this week was fucking dope. So, very, very good match. Let's talk about Bron Breakker because it's very rare at times these days in professional wrestling. You know, we have a lot of good wrestling matches, but it's very rare where we get a signature promo that just takes the performer to another level that's like really groundbreaking, that catches your eye. I'll tell you what Bron Breakker did on Monday in Glendale, Arizona was fucking dope. Promo of the year up there for sure, but say what he needed to say. He's going to fight CM Punk on the first Raw of 2026. It's the first year anniversary show on Netflix in the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. It's CM Punk against Bron Breakker for the World Heavyweight Championship. Bron Breakker, you know, he was the emphasis of what JR would say a lot on his shows is like, you got to emphasize your minutes. So I want to give props to Bron Breakker because that was a fucking tremendous promo, and he deserves a lot of praise. So big props to Bron Breakker for that. Alright, predictions coming up for NXT Deadline coming up tomorrow night. Here's my predictions for this PLE. We got Ricky Saints kicking off the show for the NXT Championship. It's Ricky Saints against Oba Femi for the NXT Championship. I believe Ricky Saints will defeat Oba Femi and retain the NXT Championship. From there, we got Taylor Paxley against Izzy Dame, a grudge match. These two have had a really fun rivalry so far growing up in NXT. I love the Izzy Dame. That's going to be a good grudge match. You know, with it being the opening of the feud, I don't know, kind of decision. This kind of looks more of like a, either no contest and this bleeds into a stipulation match at New Year's Eve. I can see something like that. So this may be one of those no contest ones. Ethan Page against Mr. Iguana for the NXT North American Championship. I got Ethan Page retaining in that match. And then here's the 2 Iron Survivor Challenge matches. For the women, we got Sol Ruka, Mamma Mia, against Lola Vice, Kalani Jordan, Jordan Grace, and Miss Kendall Gray. This is going to be an absolute barn burner. This is winner gets a shot at New Year's Evil for JC Jane's NXT Women's Championship. This is going to go a lot of different directions here, guys, but I'm going with Jordan Grace. This is the moment I think Jordan Grace gets the victory, and she's going to go after JC Jane. I'm either going with Sol Ruka or Jordan Grace in this one, but this could be a dope match. And shout out to Kendall Gray, man. She's that damn good, man. Like, her ceiling has no ceiling. The sky's the limit for her. She's awesome. And then the Men's Iron Survivor Challenge, this will probably be the main event. Javon Evans against Leon Slater, Joe Henry, Deion Lennox, and Miles Bourne. Winner takes on the NXT champion at New Year's Evil. I am going with Javon Evans to win this one, but would not be surprised if Joe Hendry won this match as well. So, very curious to see how this one plays. And, yeah, so that is the Iron Survivor Challenge lineup for both the men and the women. I'll be covering NXT tomorrow night for WrestlingHeadlines.com. Check it out in the results section, as always. And that is what happened this week in WWE. But when we come back, we'll answer your questions for this week's edition of the Back Porch Q&A session right here on episode 494 of the Hoots Podcast, as the road to episode 500 continues. We'll be right back. Yeet. All right. Welcome back to the Hoots Podcast. 1 more segment to go here on the podcast of Hoots here for episode 494. Let's do it, folks. Throw it up. Throw up the X for the good brother Chris Saletta and Xing Saletta 24X on the Twitter machine. Let's see what Chris has for us this week. He says, "Well, Moose, here's some questions for the Q&A this week. Thoughts on TNA's new media rights deal with AMC?" Well, I'm very happy for the crew in TNA and Carl Silva and Tommy Dreamer and everybody that's been helping TNA get back to a source of relevance, and they're really doing a great job of keeping people excited for the brand. And this move to AMC is a big deal. We can't sugarcoat it or thumb our nose at it. This is a big deal, and I'm very happy for TNA. This is great for the wrestling industry, and I'm happy for them. So we'll see what happens for them on AFC starting in January. So congratulations to Tommy Dreamer and Carl Silva again for getting this done. So that's awesome. Which match are you looking forward to the most for Deadline? Well, I got 2 of those, Chris. I got Ricky Saints and Olufemi, and also the women's Iron Survivor Challenge match. I think that's going to be dope. That one may steal the show, to be honest with you. I'm curious to see how the match order is going to play out tomorrow for Deadline, but we'll see what happens. Do you think Anna Jay will make the jump or stay in AEW? Well, if it was up to me, I would have her make the jump to NXT, because I think there's potential for her to really, really shine down there in NXT, and that's another one that has a bright future of having her. She's awesome. She could be a heel. She could be a face. Anna Jay is awesome, and I do hope in a way that she does make the jump, because she hasn't progressed in AEW. She just hasn't. She's been in the same position, and she's been with the company since nearly the beginning of the promotion. And what's that saying? She's not growing. She's not advancing. So it's a real shame. But I love Anna Jay. I think she's an awesome person, and I think she's good in the ring. She needs more of an opportunity, and I think NXT could be the place for her, or even TNA for that matter. Who do you think will win the Iron Survivor Challenges? I'm going with Javon Evans and Jordan Grace. Favorite match from Survivor Series? I'm going with... I'm going to go with John Cena and Dominic Mysterio. Just for the story that they told, the fake out injury where with the shoulder on the outside doing the Hurricane Rana off the barricade and pretending that he was injured. That was a nice spotlight for the women in Judging Day to do what they did, and obviously getting to see the beautiful Liv Morgan back on our TV screens is never a bad thing. So having Liv Morgan back is pretty cool, and I thought the John Cena Dominic Mysterio match was a lot of fun this past Saturday. So for that, letting that be John Cena's final pay-per-view match, what a way to go out, right? The interactions between Roxanne and Liv are something to keep an eye on, for sure. Well, that's another thing I was saying earlier. It's just like people want to rush things and oh, I mean, Liv's been out of action for 4 or 5 months, and all of a sudden it's happened with the Judgment Day, and she didn't address it at all on Monday. She literally just got back. It will be addressed. If you want Roxanne Perez and Liv Morgan to fight each other at WrestleMania 42 in Vegas, it's going to take some time. You're not going to drop your entire load and give all the plot points away. That's the reason why we have episodic television. I don't know what to tell you, man. Have you seen any of the women's tag team tournament? I've seen the majority of it. I think that the Babes and Wrath are fun and spunky, and they got a good vibe with the crowd, but it hasn't really blew me away. I haven't really been that impressed, to be honest with you. AEW is just a hub for useless props these days. The fact that Ricochet is walking around with a national championship, even though there's a Continental Classic that was supposed to be for the Continental Championship, but it was the International Championship, and then we have the National Championship. It's a clusterfuck, to be honest with you. So, even the other night, they had this hardcore street fight in a tag tournament. I don't know, man. It's like I always said with AEW, it's a dirt cheap vanity project. That's all it is. Do you think the Hooded Man was Austin Theory? Yes, I do. I believe that it's Austin Theory. Did Zarya cost Soul the Women's Iron Survivor this weekend? Yes, I believe that will happen. And then finally, for the last question here for the Q&A. Do you think NXT is getting ready for a transition phase with talent in the next couple of months going up to the main roster? Not necessarily right now. Would I be surprised if we see NXT talents popping up during the Royal Rumble? No, I wouldn't be surprised about that. But like I told you before, I think you've asked me this a couple times, but it's a good question, Chris. I just think in general when it comes to the NXT talent, I think those being integrated and being brought up to Raw and SmackDown, I think that is more of the stuff that would happen after WrestleMania, not going into WrestleMania, because you got so much shit going on and you just don't want these talents to be get lost in the shuffle, so to say. But it's a good question. But on that note, I want to thank Chris for the awesome questions this week. As always, make sure to throw up the X for the good word. Chris Letta, X needs Letta 24X on the Twitter machine. That is it. As always, if you want to participate in the Back Porch Q&A session, all you have to do is hit me up on X at the Hoots Podcast or the Hoots Podcast at gmail.com. Also, audio shoutouts. If you want to participate in episode 500, please send me some audio shoutouts in the MP3 file to the Hoots Podcast at gmail.com. Don't forget, if you want to hit me up on the socials, I'm on X at the Hoots Podcast, Instagram at Joshie Lopez Music. Don't forget to check out the new podcast. We just dropped it yesterday, the Surf Files, SUR Files, inspiration from Vanderpump Rules. Check it out. We just did the first episode yesterday. It's on this feed that you're listening to right now if you're checking out the audio versions on Odyssey. But also, we have a YouTube channel. YouTube at the Surf Files. So check it out. If you're a Bravo fan, I think you'd get a kick out of it. It's a very fun podcast with me and Mitchell McNeil. Don't forget to hit the like button and smash the subscribe button on our YouTube page that you're listening to right now on the Hoots Podcast. We just got over 1,000 subscribers. Let's get it up to 5,000. Why the hell not? So help the good brothers out, man. And also don't forget to check out my work in the results section of WrestlingHeadlines.com and ProWrestlingTranscriptions.com. And lastly, and certainly not least, folks, be the authentic product that is yourself. I hope you guys be the authentic product that is yourself, and never forget, I must stress this point, this is important to say, be the authentic product that is yourself. Remember, nobody dictates the pace of your life but yourself and the man upstairs. I love every single one of you. We have a lot of fun things coming up in the next couple of weeks. We got Cena's last match to look forward to. I hope you guys enjoy NXT Deadline coming up this weekend. So just be on the lookout for more information. The road to episode 500 continues. We go from 6 now to 5. So thank you all for being on this journey with me. I hope I'm doing you guys proud, and I'm excited to keep this train rolling as we get closer to our final episode. But have a wonderful weekend, everybody. I'm Joshie. This has been episode 494 of the Hoots Podcast. And folks, have a wonderful weekend, and we'll talk to y'all next week.
Bye-bye, bitch.